Good evening. This is Debbie Broughton, your Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in St. Robert, Missouri. Welcome to Nana's Stamping Room, where tonight we are going to do the February class. How this works is, well, it worked differently now than it did before because they're changing the hostess code and everything. So this was for if you made a purchase in February and used the hostess code, you get the class for free. Now I'm offering my class for $25 mailed, and you get everything that is to make the cards that isn't stamped. I do all the die cutting and all the cutting out of the DSP and the cardstock, but I can't stamp anything. So if you're joining me this evening, if you could hop on and comment and let me know you're here, that would be great. So these are the 4 cards that we're going to make this evening and that people receive their card kit for. So let's get started. Let's start with this one. I think this is the first one that I made when I started designing for this class. So there's only, in a 6x6 pack of DSP, there's only so many sheets of paper you get of the same design. So I didn't have I had enough apples to do everybody's except for mine, so mine's going to be a pineapple. So let's see what all I have in my stash here. I have pineapple paper. I have my soda can. I have my birthday wishes that go on my, or it doesn't have to be soda, it could be juice, pineapple juice, and all the things for my can. So let me get my bone folder here. And the first thing we'll do is crease our card base. And then we can go ahead and add this piece to the card base because there's nothing special that we have to do to it. Now again, yours is going to be the apples. This even has pineapples on the back. So we got that. So now let's do our can. And if I remember right, I made these all be stickers by using our adhesive sheet. So let me just see if I'm correct in that. Except for these words. No, maybe I didn't. I just did on the bubbles because they were so little. Because if I had, it's really easy to pick off the backing when you use the pick-a tool here. See? So these are stickers because they're just too little to put on with glue, at least for me. And you'll have to be sure to poke out the backing of the adhesive sheet. Okay, so we're going to leave that right up there for right now. And these I did not make stickers because they are enough room to put some dots of glue. So let's look at our can here. This is the top. This is the bottom. So we're just going to put a little bit of the green multi-purpose glue on there, and we're going to glue this right up here at the top. I love this set. The thing about using glue is you don't want to get any glue on your foil because then you get a smear mark on it. And this part here is the bottom of the can. Oh, I dropped it for sure. Here it is. Stuck to my shirt now. So there we go with the can. This is the little pull tab. Start to put a little pieces, little dots of glue on this. And then we're going to put this here. This is pretty easy to put together. And this birthday wishes goes on the front, except for I cut out some apples here and put them on the front. So I could either use this piece to decorate the flap of my envelope, or I could use it to cut out a pineapple to put on the front of the can. So I think I'm going to opt to cut out the pineapple so that people know what kind of juice this is. So I'm just going to quickly kind of fussy cut this pineapple out. It's not really too hard. Just kind of have to move your paper rather than your scissors. It helps a lot when you're cutting these out. This was free DSP from Celebration. So maybe you have some too, and you can recreate this card if you would like, using different fruits. I know this is taking me longer than I thought it would. I forgot about all these little leaves at the top. Very quiet at my house today. Okay, so here we have a big giant pineapple. Now I'm thinking it looks like it might be too big for the can. I guess I should have checked that out before. Okay, so what can we do? We can kind of cut a little bit off the bottom, maybe. Just kind of round it up a little bit, make it be a little bit shorter of a pineapple. And I guess we could cut off some of the leaves at the top. Nobody's probably going to know exactly how many leaves the pineapple had before. So we can go with that. I noticed I forgot to cut this one out. All right, let's put some adhesive on the back here. I didn't realize the pineapple was that big. And now we're going to put this birthday wishes label right here on the pineapple. Then we are going to glue this to our card base. Right in the middle. And then we have our bubbles. I put the wrong kind of bubbles on this one. And these can just be coming out of the top of the can wherever you'd like them to appear. I'm going to do mine right there. Actually, the bubbles really are twice as big as, twice as long as that, but I cut them in half because otherwise it would have stuck off the top of the card. So, there we go with card number 1. That was our fast and easy one. Oh, I forgot to get myself some insides. I have that inside. Now I just threw away, I think, the piece of paper that went on the bottom. So this would just go right along the bottom for the inside. I could either use that side. I think I'm going to use this side because it looks better. You see the whole pineapple pieces. Okay, so card number 1 finished. Let me put this away. Get my envelope. Okay, so card number 2 is going to be the zinnia one. So here we have it. Here we have all our pieces inside here. The first thing we're going to do is to crease our card base. And so we have this piece that we are going to glue to our card front. Let me be sure that this is even all around. Okay, then we're going to make our zinnia. I have a hard time sometimes getting these to fit together. But there's always going to be some spaces between some of the leaves. Like, see how that's there? And that's usually where you could stick a leaf. I just try to make it be the least amount of space in between. Okay, I think that looks good. We're gonna go for it here. There we go. This does look like too much of a space there. We'll just, that's the good thing about using the mono adhesive, because you can kind of slide it around. Then we have this orange middle. And then, let me see if I made this be stickers. I made some things be stickers in this set and some things not. Nope. That's because you could put a little dot on each star. I really do love our adhesive pieces when it's something like those bubbles where it's almost impossible to put a small enough dot of glue on them. So there is our stars in the middle. Then we're going to take this. Now this one, it just so happened there was a straight stem right in the middle of the card, but there doesn't seem to be one here because this time my stem is kind of too far over. So I think I might just put it like right here with some of the leaves sticking out on each side. This one is not a very hard one either, but the next two take a few minutes to make, so you never want to make too many of them, take a long time. And then, so we're going to use out of this Simply Zinnia. I don't know how you say it. I used to say it Zinnia, but now I found out it's Zinnia. After all these years of saying it the wrong way. Let me find my block. I just did another Zinnia card earlier this afternoon for my Come Make a Card With Me class. And I'm going to use Mossy Meadow. This is Lemon Lolly, is the yellow. I think they go very well together. One thing you have to remember when you have skinny words like this is not to rock it when you go to stamp it. Because sometimes you get ink on the extra rubber, and then if you rock it, you'll get shadows. But that's why paper has two sides, just in case. So I'm going to try to center this. Red rubber is not quite as easy to center and stuff as the photopolymer, but that looks pretty good. I'm thinking maybe I need to re-ink my Mossy Meadow. Then I'm going to glue it to here. I'm going to center it. There we go, that looks pretty good. And then in my bag here of different embellishments, I have, oh, I forgot to put the yellow, I have these yellow ones for my pineapple card. And I think you all got red ones for your apple cards. So let me get those out and I'll get my soda or juice card back out. And then for this one, it's like these clear hearts that are in here. You will also receive a little bag like this with all your embellishments in it. Let me see, I should have a third one. I do. It's way up there. I hate to pour all these out, but I think I'm going to. I have this little dish that I use when I'm cutting out my dies because it's magnetic, but I'm going to use it to dump these into for right now so that I can get out this other heart. And we'll put these pieces up here for when I need them for the next cards. So, let me put my message on here. I think I might have to go back and cut a stem for my flower because it does look kind of funny just floating there among those leaves. And so you could do that if you have the set. It has a stem that you can use the die to cut out with. Or if not, you can just cut some out of Mossy Meadow cardstock. But perhaps you have, several of them had the stem running right down the middle. It was too hard to cut the paper for everybody to get that. So we're going to put this on the card base. This is Lemon Lime Twist and Mossy Meadow mixed together. What I worked with earlier was Granny Apple Green. It's just a little bit darker shade of the same color. This is for your inside. And we could put these hearts on. I'm just going to pick them up with my pick-a-tool. I just have some embellishments. These were a long time ago that we had these, but I'm kind of going through my embellishments and trying to use them up so I can buy new ones. This is for a different card. Okay, and my third heart's going to go right here on this leaf. So there we are, finished with card number 2. I thought this made a nice spring looking card with all the bright colors. Okay. Get my envelope for this one. These are for my pineapple one. I don't want to lose those. I'm going to get my pineapple one back out right now and put them on so that I don't forget. Oops, I need to turn that one over. And there we go. Always have to have some bling on your cart. Alright, this one's going to be a little bit more detailed, and so is the next one. So this says, hope this card makes you smile. And when you open it up, it's got a little mini tackle box in there with some tackle. So, let's find the envelope that goes to this one and see what all we have in there to do. Okay, we'll dump out all our goodies. We have a card base. We have the bottom of the tray. We have the outline of the sections for the tray. We have a piece for the front. A piece to cut out some fish. And the little thing that makes it so it pops up, that's what this is. So what we're going to start with first, I think, we have all these little pieces, is we're just going to go ahead and put our fish paper onto our card base. That way we'll get that big piece out of the way. I love this Gone Fishing set. The set is still in the catalog, but the paper has retired. Okay, so I'm gonna need a card. I forgot to put my insides, but I'm gonna have one here. So we're gonna go ahead and stamp this and then put it into the card so that we can build the little shelf here. So I want to stamp first because I know me and I may have to use both sides of my paper. So I'm just going to use some Tuxedo Black Memento ink. And ink up these words. And I need to put them kind of more towards the bottom so that you have room at the top. So let me get them centered here. And up high enough so you can see. We're going to go for it. See how it looks. Sometimes with these larger stamps, I let them just sit for a minute for all the ink to transfer. I'm going to clean this now. Okay, we're going to put this piece in the card. Alright, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to make the mechanism that makes the tray pop up. So that you have this little bitty tab here on this side. You're going to kind of fold that in because it's going to fold up like this and make a square like that. So we want to put some adhesive. You would probably either want to use glue or Stamp and Seal Plus or the tear and tape, just so that it holds real well, because it is going to be folding up and down every time you open the card. So now what we're going to do is we're going to place this. Well, I almost didn't go far enough down with my words. I guess perhaps I should have put this in there first. Okay, so this is going to be like this. So we want to put some adhesive back here and on this one. One to go down here. You put it right in the fold of the card. And the other one's going to go up there. So let's put this bottom piece on first. And I want to get it in the middle, right in that seam of the card. Oops. Popped right off there, didn't it? Okay, we're going to lay it right down there. And we're going to fold this up. We're going to get this even. We're going to fold it forward. We're going to get this even. And now we're going to put some adhesive on the back here. And then we're going to close it up. Rub it. Okay, it's you have to be sure that the glue has a little bit of time to dry. So while it's drying, I'm going to put my block on it. We will make the little shelf here of the tackle box. So we are just going to put little drops of glue on here. You know, sometimes when you plan these cards a month ahead of time, it's hard to remember some of the little details that you did. Okay, so now we're going to flip this over and put it on our shelf piece here. And we will have a tray out of a tackle box. And we will also have glue all over our fingers. Okay, it goes all the way to the back, and the front, but it doesn't go all the way on the sides because there's like a ridge. So now we have that all glued down, and I'm going to get some glue off my fingers before I start touching all the foil pieces there. So you could put these in here however you would like. Now you notice this piece here is the float or cork, however you would like to say it. And I did put, I still have some glue on my finger. I did put the adhesive sheets on these. I can see the adhesive sheets. Besides, it's white instead of red on the back. I'm going to have to get this down here closer to where I can see it. Okay, so I got the first part off. Now I need to take the bottom part off. There we go. You see how it's shiny? Because that's all glue on there from the adhesive sheets. Or adhesive, I should say. Now you're going to take this shaped white one and put this on the bottom. Or the top, whichever you prefer. And then there's this the thing that helps it, I guess, stay afloat or stay upright. And we are going to pick off the adhesive sheet of this one. And we are going to put it on the back here. Evenly spaced. Are pretty close. I didn't get that close at all. I think it needs to be a little bit closer. Do the same amount at the top and at the bottom. Okay, so there is one of our pieces for the tackle box. Let's see, what else did we have in there? We had one of these in there. This is some kind of a lure. Okay, this one's big enough that you can use the glue. I should have wrote down which ones I put the adhesive sheets on. I know I just put them on the ones that are too little to tape or glue. And there's this one. This is a very big, long one. That's why this one's going to take a little bit longer, and so is the tool one, because we have a lot of little pieces to put in there. But it makes a great card. This is a spinner, I think you would call it, maybe. And then I have some hooks here that are definitely have the adhesive sheets on the back. Took some off that one. See if I can get it off this one. It just kind of came off the other one. There's hardly anything there to get a hold of it with. I really thought these might be a little bit easier, but they're not. Okay. So we're going to put a hook up there. There is our tackle box. So let's see how our card is doing over here. That we have it all waiting in the wings. There we go. Now it's all set in there. So now we are going to put some glue right here in the front and glue the shelf on there so that it will pop up. And you kind of want to get it, you want to put it, see how it has these two little tabs here in the front? You want those to be up so that you have a smooth bottom. I see that it's not, I have a little piece sticking up down here. So you have a nice straight bottom to go here. And you're just going to lay it down like this. And you're going to get rid of this glue that you got on the back. And then you're going to close the card, sit this back on there, and let it work its magic. So next we can stamp, hope this card makes you smile. There we go. Put the lid back on this. And we're going to add this to the card. Let me see. We're going to add that right there. And then I stamped this fish, but I couldn't send you anything that I stamped. So what I did is I sent you some scrap of the DSP, and you can cut out a fish or two, or however many you like. So let's see. And see, it doesn't matter. I took this one because some of them don't have tails. But depending on how I stick them on here, it's not going to matter because you wouldn't see their tails anyway. So I'm going to go for this one right here. There we go. And see, I can have this one kind of... Oh, I should have put this one down here maybe. Let me see if I can get it off. Well, can you believe it glued down that hard? Because this one will look perfect like coming up out of here, swimming this way. There, he's coming up like that. And this one could be down here, swimming. And then we should be finished with card number 3. Now what you might want to do is take your embossing buddy and just kind of go over these in case you got some glue on them so that it doesn't stick your card shut. And there we go. A tackle box, some words, and a front. Card number 3. I got some glue up here that I'm going to have to take care of too. Okay, so our last card, card number 4. I can't decide which I like better, the toolbox or the fish, but they're both basically the same card, just with different objects. All right, so crushed, we have all these pieces here. And we even have more pieces in here. I don't know why I think I gave myself red even though I didn't have the apple drink. And I'm not sure why I have these, unless they went up maybe on the fish. Let me see. You could use the rhinestone on the fish even though I didn't on my sample. All right. So this one is going to be a card that opens up like this, and it has a toolbox on the inside. So, first we're going to take our card base, use our bone folder. And we're going to have this goes on the front, and this piece gets glued to here and makes up this side. So let's go ahead and get the real red one down here first. We're going to take these little nuts and bolts and put them on top of this basic gray. And there we have our card front. Now our inside of the card is going to be just like what we did on the other one, where we're going to have to put in our inside card so that we can get the mechanism to work. And I'm going to have to cut myself another inside piece because I forgot to put one in here. So I'm going to do that real quickly here. Okay, now I've lost all my nuts and bolts. We'll push all these up there and we'll get them when we're ready. So, 5 1/4. Here's a nut right here in the middle of my cutter. They went all over. 5 4. Okay. So this piece is going to go inside here like this. So it's a vertical card. We'll find our words again. Remember, we kind of want to put them a little bit further down than we usually do, so we have room for it to pop up and down. There we go. As long as we got the ink open, we're going to find our tag for the front. It's going to go like this. And we're going to stamp. Hope this card makes you smile. Okay, now we're finished with the words and with the ink. So, on the front, everybody got 7 tools. You have 3 in the front here, and you have 4 in your toolbox. Or you could do it the other way around. I try to give everybody 7 different kinds. And sometimes it's okay, like these pliers might not have their handles, but it doesn't matter. They're stuck down in there. So let's get our tools here and see what I have. Let's see, I have a... Let's get this a little bit organized. I have a C-clamp, and I have some hedge trimmers maybe, or I have a half of a saw, but that's not going to matter because I'm going to put it on the front here, and you're not even going to know it's missing the rest of the saw. I have a paintbrush and a wrench. I have a Phillips screwdriver, and I have a hammer. So I think for sure I want the saw to go on the outside. And what else could go out there? Maybe we'll put these 3 things that are all have blue on them. The hammer, the saw, and those look like hedge trimmers to me. But that wouldn't really be a tool. Well, I guess it's a garden tool. So these do not really take too long to cut out. I probably should have cut some out ahead of time so you didn't have to sit here and watch me cut them out. I didn't think about that. Also, in the stamp set and the dies, you can stamp and cut these out. You can use like silver foil for the blades. They look pretty cool when you do that too, but since I couldn't stamp for anybody, we opted to cut them all out of the paper. Okay, there's the hedge trimmers. The hammer's almost cut out. Just have to go around it. I remember when I first started Stampin' Up, we didn't have dies or anything, so anything that you wanted to put on like an object like this on your card, you had to stamp it or get the DSP and cut it out. So much nicer now with all the dies. Okay, enter saw. There we go. Okay, let's get these scrap papers out of the way. So we have this, and we know this is going to go right here. So let's kind of see how we want these to go. The saw, we kind of want to be like that, so you can't even tell. And then we can have these kind of sticking out like that. And the hammer, Or maybe we can have these sticking more out like this, and then we can have the hammer coming right down here, down the middle. So don't worry if some of your tools don't have all their handles and stuff, because, you know, look, the hammer, I only needed that much of the handle, just that little bit there, and I didn't even need the end of the saw. So we're going to kind of put some adhesive on the back here and fix them up before we put it down to the paper. Ooh, at first it wouldn't come out, and then it comes out in a big glob. All right. So we're going to kind of put this saw back this way. Then the hammer. And then the hedge trimmers, kind of like that. And now we'll stick the whole thing down. Now if you want to, which is probably a good idea, to kind of go through and put a little bit of glue behind these so they don't get caught on the envelope or anything. Just kind of like maybe at the tops of them. Okay, there we go. Now, I'm not going to do all these right now because it'll take a long time. But notice in here how I cut out the nuts and bolts. I think there was 2 nuts to every bolt. And you're just going to come up the side of your inside of your card with them. But I'm not going to do all these because that will just take a lot of time. And for sure I made these be stickers because they're so little. So I kind of just went nut, bolt, nut, and went up kind of zigzaggy. You could go straight if you like. I'm having a terrible time getting the backing. Here it comes. I get it up and then I lose the spot where I got it up at. So I will just put one on for right now. And then I will finish that later. Whenever I am off camera and you guys won't have, you already have to sit and watch me cut out the tools. So the next thing we're going to do is to kind of put our tool chest together. This is going to just, if you notice, I embossed this with the wood plank embossing folder. So you can decide which side you want to face outward. It's not real distinctive, but you can kind of see it when you look close here. And I'm just going to put a dot of glue here and a dot of glue over here to add my handle. Actually, I just got a little bit of glue off that dot because it has to go over the hole. So I just kind of take the glue and smear it that way and then stick down my handle. And then my fingers are going to stick to it. There we go. Oh, I have a gray paper stuck to my hands here. Okay. So this is our toolbox. And we're going to kind of do the tools the same way we did on the front. So these are the 4 tools I'm left with: a C-clamp, I'm just going to cut out the C-clamp because I can add the tools later. Because it's really no fun just watching a video of somebody fussy cutting a C-clamp. Or a hammer. Or a paintbrush. Almost finished. Okay, there's my C-clamp. So, we're going to make the same kind of mechanism with the toolbox that we did with the tackle box. We're going to glue inside our inside piece. Let me get it even in here. I think these cards are really cute. They just take a little bit of time to make, but sometimes it's kind of nice to have one with a lot of different pieces. Okay. This is the piece that has the little flap that you're going to fold over so that you can make that box again, to make the toolbox pop up. So I already kind of know how to do this from before. I'm going to add a little bit of glue right here. Put it together, kind of hold it here for a few minutes to be sure that it gets well stuck together. Okay, now it's stuck together. Okay, then we're going to take it and see how it's going to go in here. It's going to, this part down here is going to be glued to the bottom. This part back here is going to be glued to the top of the card, and this is going to where you're going to put the toolbox. So we're going to put a little bit of glue right here. I just always like to check twice before I actually glue it down. And then down here, so that it will go down like this. And then you can close it like this, and if you want to, put a block on there for a little bit to help hold it down. Meanwhile, we can add our embellishments to the toolbox. It has, these are supposed to make maybe look like the bolts that are holding together the toolbox here to cover up all these little holes on the side. So I think I'm going to try to use my putty side of my Pick-a tool, and I'm just going to put them right over these 4 holes on each side. It kind of makes it look so realistic, I think. Luckily, I had enough of these so that everybody could get 8. I had a pack and a half. Whoops. Now they're wanting to not cooperate with me on this side. First it went too far one way, then you went too far the other way. These two look like they're stuck together. One more. Oh, I dropped it. Oh, there it is. Okay, now we have all that. So now that's looking pretty good. And I'm going to go ahead and put my C-clamp in here, and I'll put my other things in here later. I can even like just stick this over the top like that, don't you think? I think that looks pretty good. Just going to put a dot of glue back there. And that's what you would do with your other three things. Is just decide, I would do it, it'll be easier to do if you do it before you stick it to the inside of the card. So, I'm just going to kind of put that one there. Then I could probably put the paintbrush and the wrench next, and then this little screwdriver sticking out. So I could have the red part of the screwdriver sticking out, kind of like that, with these two in the middle. That will look good. Okay, so let's see if we're ready to put the toolbox on. We are going to put a little bit of glue right here on the front. And we are going to lay the back of our toolbox even with it. I don't know, hopefully you can see that. So that when I fold this down and hold it, the toolbox will pop up. But I'm going to let it sit here a little bit longer with the block on there to get everything glued really well down, so that when the person who gets it opens it, it doesn't all come apart. And I'll put my little pieces on there before I send it to the little nuts and bolts. You got pretty many of them. Well, thank you for joining me, and I hope you have a great evening. See you Thursday for Thursday Techniques. Bye.